This conference will now be recorded.
Let's just hopefully that didn't fuck anything up and you guys are still hearing it perfectly. All right. It's still green. It's still green. All right. Thank you, Simon. All right. Let's just give another second. Let everybody come to the party. Let me let them know we are live. We are live. Let's go. Let's go. Get that odds logic screen up. Get that odds logic screen up. We're going to cover a lot. And if not, at the very least, get on the WagerTalk. Get up the WagerTalk odds screen. And if you haven't taken advantage, I got a free link to, I think a week or so of odds logic. Just check it out. Just check it out. If you're betting NBA, you need it. You definitely need it. Real quickly, if you watched, I know a lot of you guys watch my UFC stuff. And if you watch the Gambler's Perspective this week, you'll have seen that I had a real professional bettor. Like not even arguably, it's factual. The most profitable sports bettor at Circa Sports since the place opened. I repeat, the most profitable sports bettor at Circa since the place opened sat down with me and we shared some information with him. He was more than generous with his time. You guys should check that out if you get a chance. It's free, I believe. The Gambler's Perspective. It's a weekly podcast I do every week. The information's amazing. We bring in professional bettors, odds makers, just real legit people, especially in the MMA space. But this gentleman, like I said, bets all markets. I can't say it enough. Like, to be the most profitable guy at one of the biggest sports books in Las Vegas since it opened tells you a lot. What the no social media handles, doesn't have anything to promote. Because it was funny. I said, you have anything to promote? He's like, no, I don't sell anything. I said, no social media still? He's like, no, never, But anyway, he was on the show and he shared a lot of great stuff about how they get down, how so many of the biggest bets they have to wait till late because they can't get enough down early. Just really great stuff. But I lost my train of thought. So if I pick it back up, or if anybody could remember what I was getting at by bringing it up, my man, please do. I got so many things on my mind right now. Super Bowl Sunday. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Hold on, just seeing what else is coming in. As you guys know, we bet Memphis. We bet the Memphis Tigers this morning over Temple. Played 13.5, good to 14. Oh, this is what I was getting at and what I was saying about odds logic, and it's actually helped me. But I can't use it for subscribers. But this is for you guys that get betting seriously, that use it as an investment vehicle. You need it. I asked them, the NBA, okay, the lines move so significantly, especially on the totals. I know last year, most of the groups weren't even taking real positions. They were betting over in the morning, betting under later in the day. They were betting side A in the morning, side B later in the day. How can a recreational bettor beat the NBA market? And more importantly, pick off what's legit? My man said straight like this: you need a odd source that gives you real-time injuries and who's sitting, like real-time information like that, where you're going to know This is the starting lineup. This is the starting lineup. Oh, wait, this guy's not playing tonight. He said, dude, you have no idea how slow most of the books are, especially the credit shops. And here's why. Because they're all piggybacking. Like right back in the day when I was a runner on the strip, if we bet, let's say, Kansas City -1 at the Stardust, and let's say it was when I walked into the Stardust, let's say the game was a pick'em. Let's say the game was a pick'em. And it came into my ear, lay pick'em on Kansas City. I bet Kansas City at a pick. Of course, they're going to move it about 1.5 points. That was how much they would move it back then in the NFL. We'd get about 1.5 points for a $5,000 limit bet. Okay. Now, it went to 1.5 at the Stardust. It didn't go to 1.5 pretty much anywhere else until someone that either works with our group or another group that saw the same thing walks into that sports book and bets it. That's why I had 4 spots. At the Stardust, I was able to run across the street to the Riviera, run up the street to what was the Frontier, if you guys remember, and across the street to the Desert Inn. That was my 4 casinos that I had as my running. That was where, we all had our spots, and mine were those 4. I was stationed at the Stardust, but I was also supposed to go across the street to the Riviera, across the street that way to Desert Inn, and then back this way to the Frontier and back to the Stardust. I was supposed to try to hit all 4 books. And more times than not, I was able to hit at least 2 of them by doing that. And you got to remember, I was, back then I came from Greece. I was young. I was in shape. I was sprinting. How I didn't get hit by, I did get hit by a car one time. True story. I got hit by a car one time. But how I didn't get killed is another story. So anyway, if you are taking, especially NBA, if you're doing your own NBA work and you're trying to beat the NBA betting market, or if you're working middles and scalps, like I know a lot of groups, I know a lot of guys out there that are making money with 0 risk. They're not betting sides. They're not betting totals. They're middling everything. They're scalping everything. And with all the sports books at our fingertips, that's a lot easier to do in 2025 than ever before. The only caution I will urge is if you're doing that, make sure your credit shops are legit. Like if you're scalping and using DraftKings, Caesars, MGM, FanDuel, you're fine. Bet online, you're fine. You're fine. No matter what side you win with, what side you lose with, you're going to be good. You're going to get paid from the side that won. But if you're using credit shops to scalp against the Sharp Line, against Pinnacle, against Chris, against Bet Online, here's what's going to happen. You're going to lose on the sharp with the sharp books, and you're going to win with the slower books, the credit shops. The key is, are you going to get paid by the credit shops? Because you already paid the post-up shops. They already have your money. But now are you going to get it on the other end? Because a lot of times what happens is it all ends up winning with that side, with the square books, which makes sense. You're going to win with the square books. You're going to have a lot more trouble winning with the sharper books. And it happened to me where I was winning with one particular book, where I was losing with the sharp books, but for whatever reason, that one particular book gave me the other side of the scalp, the other side of the middle, more than any else. And what happened was I ended up having a big account with that sports book. I woke up one morning, I logged in, and my account said 0. Contact customer service. That was it. I contact customer service. I say, where's my account? This is the response I got. I swear to you, this is the response I got. If you read our guidelines, you will see that if you're working with or part of a betting syndicate, steam chasing, like some nonsense like that, it was real small in the fine print, like you will lose your money more or less. Like they will not honor your withdrawal. They won't even honor like none of it. And what was my recourse back then? There wasn't any Twitter, so I couldn't warn anybody else. There wasn't any social media. I couldn't warn anybody else. And what was I going to do? There's no recourse for me. They're in freaking Antigua. They're in Costa Rica. What am I going to do? Call the FBI so they could tell me how stupid I was for betting with an illegal book in Antigua and Costa Rica? That's why you got to be real cautious if you're using credit shots. But with that out of the way, let's dive into what matters most. Now, we're coming off what would have been an amazing day, but ended up being a losing day because we placed a great bet that lost. And let me explain that. Great bets aren't supposed to lose. But here's the bottom line. If your goals align with mine, I will not disappoint you. That's fact. I'm not going to disappoint you. And I could rest on the fact that I've turned a profit 8 of the last 10 years. So those guys are not disappointed, okay? Because our goals were aligned. It was for me to profit every single year. Now, you know that's impossible to do. I work with an 80-20 risk of ruin, where I let my people know that trust me to bet my information that we will double our money 8 out of 10 times, but we will lose it 2 out of 10. That's going to happen. None of us could outrun that math. None of us can. And unfortunately, one of those 20% was last year. I'll let you know now. A lot of you weren't in this theme room at the beginning of this year. I'm coming off a losing year where I lost the bankroll. There's no denying it. I tell you when I win, I tell you when I lose. And if you're going to make money betting sports, I'm going to prepare you for what the ride looks like, okay? I came here with $600. That's it. I'm very comfortable right now after losing multiple bankrolls over and over again because I finally got it through my head that the only way I am going to be profitable doing this is if every action of mine reflects that of a winning bettor. If my actions don't reflect that of a winning bettor, then I don't deserve the win. I don't deserve it. It's like I bring the analogy all the time. Why don't I have huge guns? Why don't I have the perfect six-pack? Because I don't deserve to have it. I don't eat like I should have it. I don't exercise like I should have it. I don't have the discipline like I should have it. So nothing in my daily life reflects that of someone that is shredded. And you know what I mean? Diesel. It's not going to happen, right? So why would it happen in sports betting if I'm not doing what every winning bettor does? And that's not chase, not bet for action, not take bad numbers, manage my risk correctly. Like if I don't do all those things every single day, then why do I deserve to win? Like who owes me? Even if I've been in this 20 years, I'm not owed nothing. I'm owed zero from nobody. And I promise you, it took a long time for that to finally sink in. And here's when it sunk in. It sunk in when I started working with an advanced Blackjack group. And I started realizing when their exact quote, we are the favorite, Gianni, versus the casino every time. I'm like, no, you don't win every time. That's not what I said. I said, we are the favorites versus the casino every single time we step on that floor. And there's nothing they could do about it. In the short term, there's going to be randomness involved. But in the long term, there's absolutely zero they could do about it but pay us. I said, okay, sounds great. I mastered card counting. I'm not going to say the best, but I was definitely one of the best on that team for sure. For sure. And I sat down with WagerTalk, sat with one of the legends of Blackjack, Anthony Curtis. And we discussed advantage Blackjack and all that. So for him to actually do that podcast with me and sit next to me lets you know what level of Blackjack I play at, okay? But what opened my eyes with that was this, that in Blackjack, one-on-one with the dealer, I look for fast dealers. I look for dealers that don't want to talk. I know stereotyping, but it's usually not those the ones that look like our moms that want to tell us about Las Vegas, or the ones, you know what I'm talking about. I want to look for that one that looks like they're a machine. They're just there to do their 8-hour shift and deal, okay? With that type of dealer, I'm going to play 150 hands at least per hour. In a 4-hour session, I'm going to get 600 bets down. 5 days, I'm going to get 3,000 bets down. In a month, I'm going to have 12,000 bets. Now, I was a high-volume sports bettor, but I sure as hell didn't bet 12,000 bets a year even. I was lucky to get 2,500 bets a year. It would take me 5 years to do what we were able to do in a month of advantage Blackjack. Think about that. It would take me 10 years of sports bets to place the amount of bets I was able to in Blackjack. Tony, my boy, great question. The only college basketball bet I have is Memphis Tigers minus 13.5. Good up to minus 14. We also bet George Washington plus 5.5. I did not release that to subscribers because I didn't love the side all that much. I pass along what I like. And in college basketball, we went on fire. Coming off another 3-in-1 day. No doubt about it. If you look over the last 30 days, should be number one. Crushed college basketball. These guys are in line. And as I told the guys in my steam room, the guys that are with me for the year, I hooked up once again with the most profitable group that I ever worked with between the years of 2007, probably 2010, forgive me, 2009 and 2015, 14. What am I saying? It was like an 8-year run. So from 2009 to about 2017. Then after that, we didn't work together. We hooked up again, and you're seeing the results. Just wait till you see baseball. I don't even want to brag about that, but they are the best. Like, I lost last year in baseball. You guys know that. A lot of betting syndicates lost in baseball last year, one of the hardest years. These guys won. These guys came up about 40 positions over 500. And they stopped betting probably a month after the All-Star break because their model wasn't working anymore. They said for whatever reason, the model just stopped working. Whether it was the Major League Baseball wanting more runs and calling officiating games differently or what, they weren't sure at the time. But instead, they just backed off and said, let's take our 40-plus positions, call it a year, work on the model in the offseason, and come back next year. That's what he told me they're doing. Again, this guy isn't the one that does it. He's the one that's the point guard for different groups. He's got a group in South Africa that only does NBA. He has a group in China that only does live betting. They live bet freaking MMA. They live bet college basketball. They live bet NBA. He's got this Russian group that bets tennis for him. If you've been getting the tennis, we've done pretty good. Anyway, it's not about that. What I'm getting at is you will be able to see with Blackjack that as long as you did the right thing and always made the right move, there's only 4 moves you're going to make. Hit, stand, split, and double down. Those are the only 4 choices you have other than your bet size. So you got to know what bet you're going to make. And those are the only 4 choices you have as a player. Am I going to stand? Am I going to hit? Is it an opportunity to split and an opportunity to double down? And should I do it? That's it. If you can make those 4 decisions the right way every single time, there's a right move every single time. There's a math move every single time. And bet the right size, there's nothing they could do. We're going to take their money. I saw that happen in real time. I saw that happen. In fact, you guys look, I did a video with Gianni. I remember he was even showing the slips of all the cash out. Like, we crushed it. That opened my eyes that, holy shit, if I just do the same thing with sports, having the edge, working with groups that win, there's nothing they could do to beat me. So I worked with an 80-20 risk of ruin, and that's what happened. Over the last 10 years, I won 8 of them. I lost 2 of them. Last year was one of them too, okay? If our goals are aligned, I will not disappoint you. If your whole goal is to be profitable when December 31st comes around, over the long term, over multiple years, I will not disappoint you. That much I'm sure of. I will put the information up against anybody, against anyone. But if they're not aligned, if you need to win today because you're in the hole this week and you don't have to pay your bookie, or you need to pay your rent, or your car broke down and you got a bill out of nowhere that you didn't have the cash for. Dude, don't, I'm going to break your heart. Like, you're going to be pissed at me. Because as much as I want to win every bet, every day, every week, every month, I know it's not going to happen. Anyone that's telling you it is selling you a pipe dream. Go follow those same game parlay guys that show that ticket where they won $100 grand. And I wish you the best. I swear to God, I hope you're able to follow those and you do the same. I wish it was possible. I swear I do. It's not my money you'd be taking. So I urge you, if you find someone that's psychic, follow them. Please follow them. I'm not psychic. But what I am excellent at is finding inefficiencies in the market. And this is what I'm getting back to. It's a long way to get back to it. But we placed the best bet you can place. And she did nothing for us. I gave out Tatiana Suarez at even money 5%. That's why I bet it for 5%. That's what a 5% should look like. Because the day of the fight, she was minus 160. Every time it dropped below minus 150, it got hit again. Every time it went to around 140, boom, it got hit again. John Murray comes on, tells Kelly in Vegas, our most profitable MMA group, bet Tatiana Suarez. Even laid the little chalk on Tatiana Suarez. Okay? So I know I placed a great bet. If I have even money and it goes off at minus 150, dude, there's no better bet than that. That's like saying pick 'em in the NFL. You have a pick 'em and it goes off at -3. If you could do that over and over again, you're going to make a shitload of money. And there's nothing they could do about it, just like with card counting. There's nothing they could do about it. They will pay you. But you can't go out there and referee a game. You can't play a game. You can't judge a fight. None of that. That's all out of our control. You don't know how the person's going to feel an hour before they're scheduled to fight. None of that. None of that. All of that is out of our control. The only thing we can control is placing good bets. Did we place a good bet? And if we place enough of them, we will win. If that's your goal, you will not be disappointed. That's what I am doing. That is what the steam room was opened up for, so that I could come in here and be accountable for what I am saying. Not just say it, not just post winning tickets and show my life and say, hey, you could have a car like this. You could have a house like this. You could have these clothes. All you have to do is piggyback my shit. Stop the nonsense, please. Please stop the nonsense. All of you, not some of you, all of you are sharper and sharp enough to know that's bullshit. If you've been betting for longer than a month, then all of you are sharp enough to know that's bullshit. That's all fucking nonsense. If it was that easy, the sportsbooks would not be promoting parlays like they do. They would be begging us to straight bet, but they don't. Do you ever see them promoting a straight bet? Except for the sharper shops like Westgate, where they say we'll give you 105, or Bet Online, where they say we'll give you 101. That's different. But 90% of the sports books are promoting same game parlays, parlays. Boost, 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 all that nonsense. Why? Because that's where their revenue comes from. These are publicly traded companies. They can't hide the data. If you look over, the hold on parlays are like 40% they're making. People are placing such bad bets, they're holding 40, 50%. For every $100 of parlays, they expect to make $40, $50. Where for every 100 of straight bets, they're expecting to make $4.50. So the goal of this room is to place good bets. I want to get that out of the way, obviously, because I know it's Super Bowl Sunday and I know why you're here. I have pages of props that we bet. And here's what I do. Okay? I provide accounts for groups and guys that win. That's it. That's what I do. And because I worked with them long enough or know their reputation, I have confidence they're going to turn a profit long term. So rather than free roll, where they give you 10%, I take a percentage of the account. I chop it up with them. 50% for me, 50% for you. That means when they win, I get 50% of the money. When they lose, I got to give 50% of the money. And here's what I'm going to ask. I know a few of you, I've reached out before. I promise you, it's now time. And if you DM me, please do it again this week. I promise you, you will get a call this week. If you want to partner up and you have accounts, we can do that. The only thing I ask is that you understand I will free roll you, which means nothing will come out of your pocket if we lose. But for that free roll, you're standing for the money. Meaning, I don't want to hear my guy didn't pay me. I don't want to hear I have to collect from this guy A and then this guy B and then send it to you C. That's not my problem. When we lose, you're going to get the money the way you want. Sent to you through mostly, the most convenient for us is obviously crypto. But if it has to be other means, we can do that too. If you have accounts, we can do that. And if there are accounts that I could attach a bot to, even better. Because as you know, I'm low volume now. You see, I've given 10 props out and we've bet, I don't even want to count them, but these pages are what, about 40 sheets? 40. I got about 100 prop bets that I placed for these guys. Some are even opposite each other because it's different groups. But my job is just to get them down. And I trust that when the dust settles, we're going to make money off these accounts. Okay. If you have accounts like that we could go into and bet, we could make some money together. But again, I'm looking for serious people that understand the game and want to do this as an investment vehicle. I'm not promising anything except you will get the sharpest information and you will be able to confirm that by seeing what happens to the line after you bet it once it's in your account. You'll see a minus 150 in your account. Like you'll see an even money like Tatiana Suarez in your account, and you'll see it close at 150. That much I could promise you, you will see over and over and over again. We will take plus 13.5 when it closes plus 11. You'll see that over and over and over again, which will make you the favorite. But again, for a free roll, or you could take a percentage of the account as well. If you take a percentage, though, you're responsible for losses and you get the wins. But with a free roll, no money comes out of your pocket. I give you 10% of everything we win with a work off. So meaning in the first week, if I lose 10 dimes to you, I got to send you to 10 dimes. Your work off is now minus 1,000. So you won't get a turn of profit until I win back that 10. Let's say the next week I win 15,000. So now we're up 5,000. That's what you'll get a cut of, the 5,000. Not that when we lose, nothing comes out of your pocket. So when we win 15,000, you get 1,500. That's not how it works. With nobody, it don't work that way. It works with 10% free roll, so you never have to dig out of your pocket any money, but with a work off. So please DM me. My girl now covers all the social media. She will write me a list of names and phone numbers. Again, forgive me if you did it already. I've just been so busy, and I've been already able to get those guys 5 dimes down on my own, so I haven't needed those accounts. But now I need them for me and the group that I work with that want some of the action. So we are now looking for legit accounts. In fact, I'm flying out to Philadelphia for that exact purpose. Okay. Let me look at these questions real fast, because then we got to go over results real fast. Then we're going to go over our money management approach. And finally, we're going to go over the Super Bowl and every single prop. I urge you to have the props you like already set up so that when I go over them, you could say, oh, he's on the same side, fire. They're on the same side, fire. Oh, they're opposite. Let me dig deep again, because we're not going to be right every time. In fact, I promise you we won't be. We won't be. But I promise you it will be the sharp side, and long term, we're going to win more than we're going to lose and turn a profit. That much, there's nothing they could do about it. Just like my man who, the first group I worked with, card counting, who said, Gianni, we are the favorites every time we walk in the door. That's what you're going to be. Doesn't mean you're going to win every time. Tatiana Suarez, perfect example. But again, I'm not a psychic. If I was a psychic, I swear to you, I would not be betting sports. That's the last thing I'd be doing. Why would I even waste my time? How much can you get down betting sports? I would be playing Powerball every other week until I had enough money to take care of myself and the world if possible. That much I promise you. So if someone's able to do that, dude, follow them dead. But dig through the nonsense. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go on. No, sir. No, sir. No one hasn't missed any props yet. Nathan, I got you. You will not miss a single session of the Blackjack. Email support. Make sure you attention Johnny Detroit. We know who you are. You will not miss a single session of Blackjack. You don't worry about that. I got you. And Robert, hit up WagerTalk. Johnny has the green light to take care of everybody as he see fit. I have I don't even, like I tell him, I trust you and your judgment to where I don't even look at the pricing or anything like that. My job is to try to find plays every single day that we could profit with. But I can tell you this with certainty. He takes care of my guys. He always takes care of my guys better than I could even. So hit him up. Don't worry about that. It's weird because this is the camera that I'm on, but I have this, the computer camera. So maybe I got to put this down so it don't look like I keep looking down when I'm actually looking up. All right. So let me look real fast. Let me look real fast to see if anything else came in, because then you know what we got to do. You know what we got to do. We're going to have to go over everything. Okay. Let me see if anything else came in for you guys real fast. I know I got some tennis that came in. Nothing I was able to, you know, really use for subscribers. But if you want it, oh, yeah, hold on. I'll read them off to you guys real quickly. And then this. All right. Here's a couple of the tennis they just bet. Oh, soccer. Bet number 209617, 209617, Sporting Cristal, Cristal, minus a half a goal, minus 120. They also bet number 209626, Comerciantes Unidos. Again, 209626, Comerciantes Unidos, +1, minus 120. I usually, if it doesn't have the league, the country, I usually just Google it. I Google the name of the team. It almost always shows the matchup, the game they're playing today, and it lets you know what division, what country, that kind of stuff. Because I couldn't tell you what these teams are from. All right, so they got Sporting Cristal, and that's about it so far. Let me look at something because I did get college basketball. Where are you? Just make sure this ain't a middle. All right, they just bet LaSalle money line. LaSalle money line against UMass. Laying minus 115. Laying minus 115. Let me look at that, see if we're going to use it for subscribers. Laying 115 on LaSalle. I don't love it. Yeah, I don't love it. Use that as you wish. Again, it's a profitable group. I mean, you know, UMass did blow them out by 22 as 2-point favorites. So I could see LaSalle having some a little bit of value off that recency bias because it just happened 2 weeks ago. And Mass is coming off a win on the road in their last game. Let me look at the power rating really fast. Because again, we want winners. We want winners today. We want nothing but winners. We ain't gonna waste our time with nonsense. See if that came in. Nope. College basketball. Let me look at my power rating on that game. I got a nice gentleman that sends me his power ratings. I respect them a lot. So I never give out a college basketball without looking. No, he actually has UMass. He has UMass as should be a 1-point favorite. So yeah, see, I didn't love it. The other thing that just came in is Toronto. Oh, this one I may like. This one we may get down on. Let's see what that first half is. All right, you guys ready? We're going, it's 108. Toronto, Houston, under 108, minus 115, up to minus 115. It's going to be only a 3% play. I see a lot of 107.5s out there even. But bookmaker, Circa, all those got first half at 108. Yup, under 108. Minus 115. It's good at 107.5. As long as you're not paying any juice for it. It's only a 3% play, and I'm about to tell you guys how we bet size. All right. Again, none of this. I'm not putting any packages up today, basketball or anything. You'll get it all right here for free. I appreciate you guys taking time with me to hang out a little bit. I promise you I will get you out of here within the hour, which gives you guys 4.5 hours of time to go over your own bets, to go to any parties. I will be at the Westgate if you're there. Yeah, I just got minus 108 right now, under 108 right now. Wow. I would have made it a 4% play almost. But if everyone could get 108, I would make it a 4% play. But I know everybody's not going to be able to do that. So we're going to keep it at 3% for the 107.5 guys. Because it's what I would bet it at. There, let me just bet it for myself. All right, I love you, this guy. All right. The 215s down in New Orleans. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you. I love you. Fat Boy, if you're not a subscriber, we're doing the Blackjack tournament, the seminar for $999. It may sound like a lot, but here's what I can promise you. Google it, check around, see what advanced blackjack groups charge. They charge $5,000. I went and did it myself, probably more now. This was 5-6 years ago. I paid $5,000 to make sure that I was hadn't lost my game, and more importantly, is there anything else I could learn from them? I learned some detection avoidance. That's what I learned. It was worth it. And more importantly, I learned that the count I was using was the most efficient. The deviation from basic strategy I was using was the most efficient. So they just confirmed all of that. And the biggest takeaway was that I got to go play, and they stood behind me for like 2 hours. And then we went back to the suite, and they critiqued my play. And that was priceless. Because, you know, in real time, you're going to make some mistakes, and that's going to kill your edge. So you got to iron that out first. And also, they gave you 6 decks of cards. They gave you a discard rack. They gave you the Blackjack felt. You know, that's the stuff you could get on Amazon for less than, $30 for all of that. But, you know, they gave you those kind of stuff for bells and whistles. And they did it in, not over webinar. They did it in person. That was what I paid $5,000 for, to do it in person. And like I said, it was worth it for me because of the level I was playing blackjack at, the bankroll I was working with, and it was worth it for me to get confirmation that nothing has changed between the groups I was winning with and having advantages in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, that nothing has changed really, except they told me some of the things to do to avoid detection, some of the joints to avoid and not play at, some of the cities and countries not to play at. So they really helped me like that, for sure. And what we're going to do is, we're not taping the blackjack course because I want to be able to do it in real time for people over and over. Like, it's something I'm hoping to be able to do once a year. I really am. And I'm pretty sure the way I want to do it is anyone that bought it could come back every time I do it. Like, I'm going to leave it to them because you're going to have refresher. Kind of like I paid for $2,500 to learn transcendental meditation, TM. I don't know if any of you guys have taken that. It's been a life changer for me. Forget your stress level and all of that, but it's just been medically proven. It's the one meditation that's been proven to help with your heart, also with like dementia and stuff like that as you age. Again, and they allow me lifetime to go in there, and they will freshen me up on my meditation. And I thought that was awesome because, you know, there was a time I went away and didn't do it for 6 months. Or there's a time you get busy, you don't do it for a year. They told me, guys, stop because you have to practice it. Something you got to do twice a day. And sometimes people just give up on it. But then 3, 4, 5 years later, they're like, you know what? I want to take that up again. And rather than force them to have to pay that money again, you give them a lifetime access. So not saying you could ask me to teach the course anytime you feel like me teaching it, but every time it's offered, if you've been to it before, your door will be wide open for you again. So you get a lifetime subscription to the Blackjack seminar. As long as I give it, you will be able to enter and join it, which means when I learn new stuff, I will be presenting it because there's always things changing. The casinos do things like they went from, 3 to 2 to 6 to 5. They went from automatic shuffle to random shuffle. So there's a lot of things that have changed, every few years or so. And I want to make sure those guys that learned it, mastered it, are up to date with it. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. And like I said, I'm more excited than that than you could ever imagine. Joey, great bet. Great bet. Great bet. Yeah, Toronto, Houston. You got under 108.5. Good for you. Good for you. I had to lay 111 to get 108. That's why I put it in the back end at 115 minus 115. Even right now, I could get under at 112. But my sharpest book, which is connected to a winning professional bettor that runs a group, and I know that's his book. Anyway, they got under 107.5 at minus like 112. So that's a good sign for us. It's a good sign. And Joey, if you got under 108.5 and you just had to lay 110 or even up to like 115, you placed a great bet. I'm not telling you it's going to win, but I promise you, you placed a good bet. Yeah, it should be about 5. I'm hoping we could get it done in 5 2-hour sessions. Now, if I have to go 6, 7, 8, that's what I'm going to do until I get everything I have to cover. I've never done it before, so I'm not exactly sure how long it's going to take. It's going to depend on how the group absorbs it. Like if we have to go over things longer than I expected, it's going to go longer. If they absorb it in a shorter time, it's going to go shorter. But I envision that at a minimum of 10 hours of instruction, as long as you are dedicated to practicing at home, that's the key. I will teach you everything you have to do, but it's on you to do it. It's like everything else in life. It's action. We all have great ideas. We all know some things to do, but do you do it? I will arm you with everything you need to do, but do you do it? Kind of like with the transcendental meditation. They taught me everything I need to know to do it, to be good at it. But it's on me to practice it twice a day so that I benefit from it. And with the Blackjack, it's going to be the same. I will teach you what you need to do, but you're going to have to practice it because you got to learn it so well that when you go enter the casino, you're prepared for every situation. That's the goal. And as long as you're practice enough at home, that's an easy thing to do. If you could add, subtract, multiply, and divide, those are the 4 things you need to be able to do. You don't need advanced calculus or anything like that. They make it seem harder than it is so that no one learns it, but it isn't. It isn't. Now, there's some guys that are going to get really intense on it and love it. I have OCD, so believe me, when I dove in, I dove in. Like there's basic strategy you have to learn. And then as a counter, there's over 100 deviations from basic strategy. I learned all of them. I memorized all of them. And then I found out I only had to memorize 18. That 18 is going to grasp about 99% of the game. And the other 110 plus are only going to add 1.5%, 2% to my game. So it wasn't worth it for me to have to remember the other 80 because the mistake you may make offsets any edge you're going to gain from learning all 100 plus deviations from basic strategy. It's kind of like the count. There's multiple counts out there. There's some that are extremely difficult that capture all the edge possible. But those are the ones people make most mistakes on. And if you're making mistakes because the count's so hard to keep, then what good is it? I'm going to give you a count that's very easy to use. That's going to make you a favorite against the casino as long as you learn it and do it. And I will teach you what not to do because I've been thrown out of every more or less casino. So I know a lot of things what not to do. Again, this isn't the Blackjack course, but I just wanted to make that known. We're starting. And that's why it's not recorded. There's no going back. But what I am going to do is I'm asking you guys, please, 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 the ones that are interested in taking it, not do it here. Email support at WagerTalk. They are expecting it. And give us what you think are the best days and times. We will look at all of what the group says and try to choose the best days, and times that most are. You can't make everybody happy, but we're going to make the majority happy. That's the goal, to make the most happy that we possibly can. And I am also going to try to figure out a way for guys that may miss a session to be able to then get it. So maybe I'll talk with Gianni again. I don't want to get ahead of myself because I don't know technically what they're going to be able to do, but I do think it would be a good idea to tape and have that tape available for that limited time, so that it's available for that entire week. So that if let's say we're going to do it Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, but for some reason you can't make a particular Wednesday, I don't want you to miss that session. I want you to have that week to go in at your time and watch it. We will make that possible. I'll make that possible. Trust me. If it costs us money, we'll still make it possible. The only thing I would prefer you being there live so you can ask questions, because there will be questions. Sherlock, the course is going to run week after week after week after week. I'm not going to spread it out. That's why I want to do it and knock it out of the way so you guys could practice it and be ready to go when you're ready to go play. Like, I don't want to do 1 week and then take off a month and then the other one and then take off a month, so it takes a whole year. I am hoping that between when the session is and the next session, it gives you more than enough time to practice what we went over, know what we went over, ask any questions of what we went over, because you're going to be practicing at home, and then you can do it again at home, do it again, do it again. Again, this is the first time we're doing it. I'm hoping I could get it locked up within 2 months. If it takes 3, that's what we're going to do. But I'm hoping within 2 months, we're able to get those sessions in and have it finished. I mean, technically, I could get it done in a month. I could get it done, obviously, in a month. But I don't want to. It isn't about speed and getting it out of the way, but it also, I don't want to leave too many gaps in between, because you want the information fresh. You want it fresh in your mind. We just covered it 6 days ago. We just covered it 7 days ago. So it's fresh in everyone's mind, and everyone's on the same page. So that's the goal. That's how we're going to do it. But like I said, I don't have all the answers because this is the first time we're doing it. And it's going to depend on the class, the members that are taking it. Some will be further ahead than others. We're going to do our best to make sure everybody's up to speed, but I will slow it down if I see that I'm moving too fast. I'm moving too fast. I don't want to, make it difficult. I want to make it easy. It was easy for me because, again, I have OCD. So once I was shown it, I just, every possible book I read. And that's when I realized they leave a lot out. But I just dove in. I paid, I think, $300 for a Ken Houston book from the 70s that came to me ripped. Like the pages, the whatever that bind at the back, like half of it was unglued. But it was so valuable enough for me that I wanted to know what this guy was sharing in that book to get it. And it gave me a little something, but, nothing great. So let me check one more time, see if any NBA, any college basketball. Is available, and we'll rock and roll. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. All right. They don't have nothing. They don't have nothing. Nothing in here. All right. Everybody's looking at they're all looking props. They're all looking to nail any late props that are out of whack. And like I said, we're going to go over all the props that I bet, any questions that you have, because I can look at the back end of some credit shops and let you know what they're getting. So let's check this out. Nope, we're up to date. Again, another account that bet LaSalle, so LaSalle definitely seems to be the sharp side. Yeah, definitely seems to be the sharp side. It's not really reflected in the line except that Westgate and Circa, because the group was from Vegas that hit it. The group is from Vegas, so I'm not surprised. They just might have got enough down that they're not hitting the Caesars and places like that. Yeah, I may have to fire. We got time. I have to fire 3%er on that if I don't see any resistance. Because, I mean, the power rating isn't really off. You got 1 and 1. They got UMass 1. The other one's got LaSalle 1. So, and those power ratings are given to me week by week by week. So between Monday and today's Sunday, his adjustment could have been bringing it to LaSalle 1, 2, or whatever it is. Oh, okay. I'm starting to like LaSalle when I see how UMass has done ATS in their last 8, covering 6 of their last 8, winning 4 of their last 6, splitting on the road as dogs in their last 4. And I like the home court for LaSalle. I've been there. It's a cool place. They're coming off a 30-point blowout. Yeah, let's go. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and fire. Let's go ahead and fire. Let's go ahead and fire. So we'll have 3 basketball premium plays. Okay. We got Memphis as the big boy. We got LaSalle as the under in the Raptors. And let's get on LaSalle. They've been hot. 3%, Simon. We've been hot. And it's not I didn't like it. It's not as if I liked UMass or anything. I just didn't have a strong opinion on the game. But limited board. Let's get some action in there, right? Let's have some fun. Please don't take that out of content. There are pick'ems out there. But I'll go ahead and lay the 1. I'll lay the 1 instead of laying the money line. Let's do it. All right, now let's go over results so we can get into NFL, because I know I ain't got all day, and I know you don't. And I'm going to add some premium props. So you guys that have your card that bought the NFL pass, you're going to get more premium props. I'm going to go over everything. I know everybody's in here for free, so I can't give them all out. Like say this is premium, the premium. It's not fair to those guys. I will go over all the props, and I'll give a couple and say this was a 3%, this is a 2%, this is a 3%. But these guys that committed to me from last week when the package was put up, I can't do them wrong. I owe them that loyalty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a shitload of props for you guys, and then give you some of the premiums as well. Because I'm seeing a couple of these, a few of them are lining up. So that's why I want to get off of this within the hour and condense some other ones that came in today that match the ones that came in over the last 10 days and see us getting down. Because I talked about this on WagerTalk today all week. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to bet a prop like under 58.5 yards. It's going to go to 56.5, maybe even 55.5. So I'm not obviously going to release that to subscribers because if we missed it, but over the last 48 hours, recreational bettors have coming in and they've been betting mostly the overs and the plus money props, the big plus monies. Yes, 2-point conversion. Yes, mixed extra point. Yes, overtime. You know, the yeses that give you all that plus money. And they're going to drive those lines back up. And those props that I see, like I said, we went under, let's say 57.5, 58.5. It's now 55.5. It was yesterday. But because of all the action, it's back to 58.5. And these guys hit it again. Those are the strongest. Those are the strongest. And I got a couple of those that I want to make sure are in that premium pass. are in that premium pass. So you guys will get added props. It's not just going to be the 10 that I've already released. Because again, if you see all these sheets and I only released 10 of them so far, we will have some more. Yesterday, you saw all the college basketball. I don't know how many games, 60, 70, 80 games. We narrowed it down to the 4 strongest. Nice 3-1 again. I'm getting more and more efficient at narrowing down size of the card. I told you in MMA, if the value's there, I'm going to fire. Coming off the best year we've had in MMA, the ROI was ridiculous. I'm extremely confident in the information I get. I work with originators. I have a huge network when it comes to MMA. We went 3-1 on the Friday MMA night. Yesterday, again, Tatiana Suarez, great bet, didn't get there for us. Didn't look like a great bet the way she fought, but a great bet based on we got down at even money. She closed at minus 150. So, yeah, obviously that one cost us. But again, when it comes to MMA, if I see 7 bets, I'm going to fire. I don't wake up saying, oh, I'm low volume, so I could only get 4 today. That's not going to happen. Like I said, you see some days we don't even have anything. I'll pass. And in the tout business, passing means your store's closed. Who wants their store closed? But I don't care. I told you I have one goal for 2025 after coming off a losing year. That's to be profitable. All eyes on me, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And like I told anyone that's talked shit after the first week or so when I was down, keep that energy, brother. Keep that energy and make sure you revisit when tables turn. At least have that type of integrity. If you're going to call out the industry or call out myself, then you have to be above reproach. You have to have more integrity than me. You have to have more integrity than the industry, or else you have no business calling it out. That's what we call scumbags. It's like the guys that talk shit after the game. Bro, tell me I'm wrong before it, I have no problem. But when you tell me I'm wrong after it, stop it. Stop it. We all know the outcome after it. We all know the outcome. Have the balls to have the conviction to call me out before the game starts. Afterwards, you tell me everything I need to know about yourself so you can save it. Now I just mute. I don't even block because I want them to think I'm seeing what they write. That's the best feeling in the world. I didn't even know there was a mute button, but just thinking that they're spending their time thinking about me and writing shit when I don't see it is I'm sorry. It's just some of the things we laugh at on this side of the counter. All right, let's get through it real quickly. All right, here's where we're at. Here's where we're at. Da, 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 da. All right, top 3 over the last 7 days. And yesterday stung, man. Yesterday stung. Right, we ended up losing 9 units yesterday. And that's the Tatiana Suarez swing. We lost 5 instead of winning 5. Would have been a profitable day, man. A profitable day. One freaking bet. You know how much that hurts me. You guys know what I bet. I don't lie about it. I don't sit there and brag, oh, I bet 50,000. I don't. I bet between 1x and 5x. And for me, I bet 1,000 to 5,000. That's it. But that was a 10-dime swing for me. So it stung me, trust me, as much as anyone else. Okay, so let's go over our results. Last 7 days, we picked up 9 units. I'll take it. I'll take it. If we could add that, 8.3% ROI. More importantly, 36 bets over 7 days. What's that? 5 bets a day. If that's high volume, then I go for that 1 game a day and good luck. The long term is going to take you 15 years to get to. And I wish the best if that works for you, if that works for me. But we bet multiple markets. I get information from multiple groups that bet multiple markets, so I will share that with you. If we could average between 6 to 7 bets per day to where we get to that 2,000 mark per year, I'm very comfortable doing that. That should be enough so we see the long term, and it should be low enough volume that anyone can handle. Okay, so now let's look at, no use looking at last 30 because we're just 1 week in. So let's go to year to date. All right. Oh, wait, what is that? Sorry, it was the wrong year. Okay. Here we go. Where are you? All right. We're up 17 units. We placed 213 bets. So we had 31 days in January. We've had 8 days in February. So that's 39 days. We'll say 40 days, 100, 213. So again, we're staying right there. We're staying around that 5 bet per game. Awesome. And more importantly, 2.6% ROI. That I can maintain. I can't maintain when we run hot and it says 30% ROI, 40% ROI. Nobody can. Nobody can. That's not my mean. That's nobody's mean. But this kind of mean I could deal with. I could deal with. And I can sustain. That's what I always tell guys. If you're ever looking to buy information, I know you want to buy the hot streak, but remember, what's probable? And if someone's 18-2 over the last 20, unless they're giving out minus 1,000s, that's probably not going to be sustainable. They're probably not going to hit 90% for you over the next month or 2 months. Like if they could do that, I'm betting for them. That much I promise you. Me or someone I know that shares info for me is betting for that person. But a 2.6% ROI, we could do that all day. We could do that all day. So that's very sustainable. That's what I like. So 17 units is what we're up. Took a couple bad beats, but I'm sure we've gotten lucky here or there. Long term, those good luck, bad luck's going to balance out. It stings the most because right now I'd be saying we're up 27. Sorry, you see I'm venting. I'm still venting. I got to get that out of my system before I bet more props. I got to get Tatiana Suarez out of my head and stop thinking, oh, I would have been up 10 more thousand this week. I would have been up 27 freaking units instead of 17. That's okay. That's okay. Snap out of it, Ace. Snap out of it. Let's do some damage. Okay, now you know how we bet. We know how we bet. We bet 0.25%. From 0.25 to 1.25. This is what I mean. We'll keep it simple. From 1x to 5x. 1x being the weakest, 5x being the strongest. Most of my bets are around 3x to 4x. Here's what I'm talking about. We rate them at WagerTalk between 1% and 5%. That is a rating, not a recommendation of bet size. If you're betting 4 and 5% per play, you're going broke. It's just a matter of time. Like that's unsustainable once again. No bankroll could withstand that, where you're betting 5%. Your risk of ruin is so high that even with winning stuff, you're going to lose. Because even with winning stuff, during my most profitable years, I talk about it all the time, I have losing weeks, losing months, some stretches that someone could cherry pick and say, this guy doesn't even know what he's doing. What's he, just throwing darts? Again, if you're going to be betting every day, you're going to have those stretches. There's nothing you could do about it. That's why 99.5% of bettors have negative lifetime earnings. That's just factual. And a lot of those guys can win, especially a lot of those guys that are specialists and just master one market. They could win. They just don't bet size right. They overbet their edge. And when you do that, you're going broke. There's nothing you can do about it. So I stick to what we call is kind of a quarter Kelly. And that's, I go from 0.25, a 1% bet is 0.25% of bankroll. A 2% rating is 0.50, a 0.5% of bankroll. A 3% rating is 0.75. A 4% rating is 1% of bankroll, and a 5% is 1.25. So, for example, yesterday, anyone that got down on Tatiana Suarez that was a subscriber of mine should have bet, if they had a $10,000 bankroll, 10 dimes, they should have bet 125 to win 125. That's it. If they bet more, they overbet their edge. And if they continue to do that, they're going to lose money regardless of whether I am profitable or not. What I'm going to do is going to be relevant to what they're going to do because we're doing two different things. Most of my bets, like I said, are between 3 and 4%, which means between 0.75 and 1%. And I keep my risk of ruin 80-20. Like I said, where I'm going to double my bankroll 8 out of 10 times. I'm going to lose it 2 out of 10 times with that bet size. Now, you could make it 99% where risk of ruin, meaning you will double your bankroll 99% at a time and only lose it 1% at a time, but you need 1,000 units. So if you're betting $25 a unit, going between 25 and 125 like I do, okay, and you're betting 25, you need 25,000. You need 25,000. And a reminder, who do you know out there with a $25,000 bankroll that's only betting $50, $75, $100? Very few, right? Well, I promise you, those very few are the ones that actually are making money betting sports. They're the ones that are making money betting sports, because then they go from that $25,000 bankroll to a $30,000 bankroll to a $40,000 bankroll to a $50,000 bankroll like I did. And next thing you know, you're at a $100,000 bankroll. Where now that 1% is $100. And it don't sound like a lot, right? But that's how you got to do it if you want to be profitable. Or $1,000. You know the math. If you want to be profitable, that's the game. It's the math. It's like, it's not even an opinion. That's the math. I wish we could outrun it, but none of us can. None of us can. And I love repeating. I'm going to keep doing it. I watched the Goodfellas Jimmy Two Time. That's one of my favorite characters. Thank you, John. Thank you. Again, that's the goal, is for us to find good bets, man. And hopefully they go out there and do their job, but we can't do their job for them. Our job is to find good bets. Bad bets win all the time. Right now, someone just hit a number at the roulette wheel. They got paid 35 to 1, and God bless them. They should be so happy. But the truth is, unless they got 40 to 1, it wasn't a good bet, because there's 38 numbers on that wheel, 39 numbers some places with the double zeros and all that shit. So unless they were getting 40 to 1, it was a terrible bet. It was one of the worst bets they could make in the house, but they won. Bad bets win all the time, just like good bets lose all the time. The difference is, if you're going to continue betting bad bets, you're going broke. If you continue making good bets, you're going to make money. If you're only betting today, nothing else matters. Just pick a winner. The number don't matter. All this stuff I'm talking about doesn't matter. It's all nonsense to you, because you're just going to bet today. You're going to bet one game, win or lose. All you want to do is win it. But if you're going to bet tomorrow, the day after, the week after, the month after, the years after, dude, do it the right way. Or else you're not going to reflect, when you look in the mirror, that of a winning bettor. Just like when I look in the mirror, I don't see guns in my chest and shit, because I don't work out like that. I'm not doing anything to deserve that. Like I said, don't do it for me, do it for you. There's so many people in here that will not be subscribers of mine. And that should be the case, because not everyone should be paying for information. Not everyone's bankroll is capable of paying for information and being profitable. And not everyone is committed to using sports betting as an investment vehicle like I am. And if you're doing it for entertainment, God bless you. Have fun with it. And even put yourself in the best position to win by being sharper than the next guy. But don't do it for me. Do it for you. Don't do it for me. Again, take a month and do it that way. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to say, dude, Ace don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm going back to betting the way I was betting. But if you're going to be betting for the next, most of you guys are in your 20s. You're going to be betting for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, hopefully, 100 years. Hopefully, by the time you guys are my age, they found a way for you to live to 200. And you'll be healthy in betting. Give yourself a month. Try it my way. Just try my way. If you only have, what's it called? $500, the least you should have is 500. And I would recommend, if you have a $500 bankroll, you shouldn't be paying for information, number one. And you should be only betting $5 per play. That's it. I know they can't bet less than that, so I'm not going to tell you to bet $250 on your weakest, $5 on your strongest. Flat bet everything for $5. You're never going to lose sleep. No one game's going to beat you. No one day is going to beat you. No one week, no one month is going to beat you. It'll take all the pressure off you. Just do that for 1 month, dude. Just try it. Take $500 and say, I'm going to bet $5 per game. 1% of my bankroll per play. But I'm going to be selective, because that's about a 4% rating. I'm going to make it only my best bets, and I'm going to stick to $5. And whether I won or lost yesterday, I'm going to do the same. And whether I won or lost last week, I'm going to do it the same. Do that. Do that. Maybe your eyes will see something like it did with me with card counting that changes your lives. The worst that could happen is you waste 30 days. That's the worst that could happen. All right, now let's get into some of these props. Let's get into the game first. All right, first, Sherlock's asking, got a preseason Eagles Super Bowl ticket at plus 6,600. God bless you. Good for you, bro. The right thing to do is hedge a bit. But for this, the right thing to do, sorry, Sherlock, these questions are coming in, man, so I have to scroll back that way. The right thing to do is hedge a bit. But for this game, I want to see Chiefs lose. Gonna let it ride for some fun. Good. You know the position you're in, and you're comfortable doing it. Dude, I respect that more than anything else, because no matter what happens, you're not going to blame anybody. Like I'm confident you're the kind of bettor that isn't going to say I woulda, shoulda, coulda. And everybody can say that, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's all nonsense. Make a decision, Stick to it, follow through, and let the dust land, and you'll see where you stand. Have conviction, and I wish you the best with your choice, bro. I do. No secret, I'm on the other side. I'm on the Chiefs. But again, it's a Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl. So none of us have inside information. None of us know how the refs are going to call it. None of us know how the players are going to show up today. But was working with the group that bet limit on the Chiefs, bet limit on the Chiefs money line back when the line first came out. But I can tell you there's sharp guys that are on the other side as well. In fact, one of the most respected guys bet the Eagles at the Westgate, I think late last night or early this morning, a winning better, which is why, they had to move the juice a little bit, and they have it at -1 on the Kansas City side. Wouldn't be surprised. Wow, I'm surprised DraftKings still has 1.5. I actually thought there was a chance for the Eagles to go off. Thank you, Neil. Dude, I appreciate you more than you could know, bro. I do. You guys allow me to do what I love, and pay back for a lot of the mistakes I made early on, and more importantly, help guys avoid a lot of the pitfalls that I made. Like, that's the biggest goal for me. Like I said, I had winning information at my fingertips that you can't even get today. Because like I said, you had to bet it at that book for them to even move the line. And I was working with the sharpest groups back then, where we had the hugest edge. They were living large. And I was managing to lose a few months here and there. I was stacked both pockets, double fisted. I was clubbing. I was partying. I was having the best time of my life. 3 months later, I was broke. My bankroll and my net worth were always in my front pockets. You know what I mean? Or at home, hidden. That was always it. And I was living like that. So I deserved not to make money while everyone else was making it. So believe me, like, I appreciate you guys so much for allowing me to do this. And the reason I did the Steam Room, we don't charge extra for it. Dude, I could avoid doing this and not do it. Just put out my picks. I have a big enough brand. I could promote nothing but 5% plays every week and make a shitload of money. And when I lose, who's going to hear it? I don't give a shit. What are they going to do? Talk shit on me on Twitter? Most of them don't have enough followers that's going to bother me. Like, I could lose every year but sell a shitload. Like I said, I do the Steam Room to be accountable, to have to come in here and face those guys that trust me. And more importantly, go over those demons that we face every day that stop me from being profitable even when I could have been. And I hope I could change even one of you guys that do have the makeup and are built for this to actually get there quicker than I did, because I took way too long, bro. I took way, way, way too long to become a profitable bettor when I had the knowledge, the network, the bankroll, the information for that to happen. The only thing I lacked was the Holy Grail, which was risk management. That's the Holy Grail. Everyone says, if I have one question or one thing you could tell a sports bettor that's just starting, what would you tell them so that they could win? I'm not going to tell you how to handicap. I'm not going to tell you how to read lines. I'm not going to tell you none of that shit. You're going to have to figure that out on your own, what works for you. But what I am going to tell you is the most important, that as soon as you become a plus EV bettor, or you have a network that give you plus EV information, you need to bet size correctly. You need to bet size correctly. That's going to determine your success or failure more than anything else. That will be the number one reason whether you're winning or losing bettor. Once you're plus EV, or again, have access to plus EV. So again, I appreciate you guys more than you know. So now we got that out of the way. I have the Kansas City Chiefs on the money line. I like the under. That's no secret. I didn't bet it because I have seen some sharp money, some accounts. Remember, I talked about it with national championship. Sharp accounts that never teased college football, teased college football. They teased the Ohio State Buckeyes from -8 down to -2. And I tell you, over the last 10 years, I don't think we ever did that. But these are guys that win, and they weren't doing it for action. That much I promise you. They were doing it because they thought the line was efficient enough in a championship game. They could wong it through 3 and 7 and they placed a great bet, and that's what they did. And I could tell you those same guys, not the exact same, but that type of bettor also teased Philadelphia with the over. They had Philadelphia with the over, and luckily I'm good friends with one of them. And they're hoping that this line flip-flops. It's not going to happen where Philly goes up to 1.5, but they're hoping enough Philly money comes in that they would do the same thing on the other side, where they would then take Kansas City plus 7.5 with the over as well. So once I saw that, it backed me off my under betting. It backed me off. And I don't mind because with the props, if you have over under, it's going to affect how you're betting these props, whether you want high scoring, low scoring. So I'm telling you now, I thought we would be betting the total. I thought we would be betting the under. I could tell you with 100% certainty that the books that I have access to, the credit shops, are about 6-1 in favor of the over from the recreational bettors. None of the sharp bet accounts that I look at bet the over themselves, except for teasing it. And the reason they teased it is because they were able to get the Eagles at 1.5, and they took it up to 7.5. So they had to tease it with one or the other. They had to tease it with the over, or they had to tease it with the under. And they chose to tease it with the over, which kind of makes sense. At 48.5, over 41.5 would make me more comfortable than going under 55.5. Probably. I don't even know, because I know people like to bet overs because you're always in the game, meaning even if it's 3-0 at halftime, you still got a chip in a chair, like they say in poker. But if I have, under 48.5 and it's 28-10 at halftime, I'm pretty much screwed, right? I'm pretty screwed. I mean, I could hope for almost no scoring second half, but I'm pretty much getting ready to toss that bad boy in the trash. And I know that's why mentally recreational bettors do like to bet overs more than anything else, because mentally it keeps them in the game. So hold on one second. Babe, let me see if she's here. Baby, any chance you could grab me a bottle of water? Yes. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much. Food's ready. Food's ready? Yeah, whenever you're done. You're the best. I will be we're watching at the Westgate with the people, not in like the private booths or not with in the ballrooms and all that stuff. I ain't going to pay $500 to go. I mean, I could have got a comp. John Kelly is the man. And Kelly actually hooked it up, reaching out to him, and he said, absolutely. But there's a lot of places that offer it. MGM, Mandalay Bay. I was actually at Mandalay Bay the other day. Niner from the UFC and he's great friends, best friends with Barkley. I got to sit there behind them and play Blackjack. I love you, baby. Thank you. I didn't get to play, but I got to sit behind Niner, tell him kind of what to do. If you're watching Niner, I love you. And then actually we went up to the foundation room at Mandalay Bay with Barkley and a small crew. It was a great time. Me, my girl, Niner had his wife, his chick, and some friends. It was a great time. Charles Barkley is the coolest individual, most down-to-earth, funniest guy I've ever met. Like, as far as a professional athlete, to his, like, straight talking to you like a human being. I don't want to take more of this time talking about Charles Barkley, but I can tell you he is a gentleman, if there is one, a gracious and generous host, and very decent and good to his friends. Like, just some of the gestures I watched him make at the table for his friends is absolutely amazing. Absolutely. Like, you would wish, again, we all wish we had a Hall of Fame athlete as best friends, but just as a friend who's, I don't care if they're a dishwasher. I wish that I had a friend with that kind of, like, that's built like that, especially when they become that successful, to still be like that. So yeah, one of the dudes that truly is decent. What do I think of the win? I love the win. One of the best, as far as staying there, it's my favorite place. I think it's the only 5-star place that we have in Las Vegas. You can believe that or not. It's the only, I think, rated 5-star here on the Strip in Vegas. So I don't even think the Four Seasons inside Mandalay Bay is a 5-star resort. But the Wynn is. And when my friends come from Philly, that's where they stay. They used to go to the MGM while we were growing up, when we were in our 30s. But after our 40s, once everybody had some money, they started staying at the Wynn. And so I love that place. I love the Wynn. Unfortunately, I can't play blackjack there. But otherwise, I love it. All right, let's go over some props. It's already 11. I want to get you out of here within the next 30 minutes. So let's go over these props. So then I have an hour to dig in and give out some of the stuff that I have. Okay, you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Here we go. Let's start off with shortest touchdown, under 1.5 yards. That one got bet in multiple accounts. Every sharp account I know bet it all the way up to minus 200, if you could believe that. Up to minus 200 to go under 1.5 yards. And you know what they're expecting. They're hoping for pass interference in the end zone to get down to the 1 yard line and have a touchdown. So that one is definitely sharp. The national anthem is gone. Started betting it. I didn't release it to subscribers this year because most of the books, I usually do, but most of the books didn't put this one up till late. The group that I moved for, they bet it under 125. One of the guys I share information for with his group bet it under 123. I don't know what it sits at right now, but they bet under 125 and under 123 seconds. And they also bet, he gave me no successful 2-point conversion, no successful 2-point conversion, all the way up to minus 275. They bet that. Some more props, different groups, okay? KC sacks, over 2.5. KC over 2.5 sacks, -1, up to minus 125. Also, will any team have 3 straight scores? They bet the yes at minus 150, bet the yes at minus 160. What else? Oh, Philadelphia, under sacks, under 2.5, up to minus 175. Under 2.5 sacks, under 175. Then we got some more stuff here. I want to see what kind of confirms together. Noah Gray, under. They bet under. Receiving yards, 12.5. They bet it at minus 110. They bet it again at minus 120. They bet it again. So that's one we hit twice already. Oh, here's a fun one that came in today, in case you weren't watching last call. MVP. Now remember, 9 out of 10, I don't know what the exact number is, but historically it's going to the quarterback, right? In fact, a lot of bettors would, even if the one team was heavily favored, or even like 3, 4, 5-point favorites in the Super Bowl, if they like that side, they would bet the quarterback to win the MVP, as more or less they felt the same bet, but at a better number. Because if the team wins, the quarterback almost always is going to get the MVP. Not always. There's nothing that's always, but probability-wise. But here's what these guys did. They took a long shot prop at plus 20,000. Yeah, that's correct. So 100 gets you 20,000. That Cooper DeJean from the Eagles wins the MVP. And they tied that into over half an interception for Cooper at plus 700 and 600. So the same bet, more or less. They're looking to hit that plus 700, that he gets an interception, hoping he gets more than one interception, so that there is that rare chance they give it to a defensive player. Again, when you're taking a plus 20,000, you know you're going to throw that ticket out a lot more than you're going to cash. In fact, when you take a plus 400, you're going to throw that ticket out, 3 out of 4 times, right? When you're running hot or close to that, right? At least close to 3 out of 4 times. And it's still a good bet because, again, it's the break even's 20%, and that's 25. So, you understand what I'm trying to get at. Again, my mind's all over the place. It's early, picking out arbitrary numbers, but you know what I mean. Then, team to score the longest touchdown. Eagles. Minus 120 to minus 120. Correlated. KC over 2.5 sacks, as I gave that a little bit earlier. And also KC to have the most sacks. At plus 120, plus 110, all the way down to as long as it's plus. So they like Kansas City on the sack side. I talked about Kareem Hunt rushing yards. The first time I gave it out, I think, was at 45.5. Another group bet it at 43.5, all the way down there. So 45.5, 44.5, 43.5. Again, if some of these numbers are gone and you all agreed with it, I recommend waiting and looking at your screen about an hour before kickoff. Because what's going to happen is these lines will move between now and then. The money is coming in now as we speak. As we speak, all the money's coming in. So that's some of the stuff that I'm seeing. Now, back end action, I'm also seeing more Kansas City straight bets, but a lot more money on the Eagles money line bets. So, for example, when I look at the risk at the back end of this particular credit shop, they have double the amount of risk on the Eagles at even money and plus as they do on Kansas City -1. Not surprising. Wow. And that's even with a 5-dime. Wow. Okay. This Super Bowl is going to be wild. But the over's one-sided. It's like now it's up to like almost 8-10 to 1. As I'm sitting here talking, more straight bets are coming in. More bets are coming in on the over. I'm tempted to want to take the over. One tempted. And the other thing they're betting a lot of, recreational bettors are going over team total for the Eagles, over 24 in the team total for the Eagles. Let me see what else I could give you before I get you guys out of here. And if you got a question on a prop or something, fire. I'll look and see if it's on my sheet. Because I said, I have so many, but I want to make sure I give those subscribers and the guys that have the package the benefit of me digging into the ones. This is a sheet that just came in today. Like, this is the stuff we just bet today and want to see what we got going. Mahomes pass completions over 20.5, 23.5, forgive me, over 23.5. And what else can I give you? Where's Gray? I thought I saw a couple that matched with Gray. Oh, yeah, Noah Gray. There you go, Noah Gray. Under 1.5 receptions. Under 1.5 receptions. Minus 130, 140. And then also Noah Gray receiving yards under 12.5. Under 12.5 on Noah Gray receiving yards up to minus 120. And then to KC to have an interception, they were looking at about plus 300. Don't know if that's available. Some of the more long shot props that I see plus money over here. Hollywood Brown over 3.5 pass receptions, minus 120. That got hit. And it's about it that I could share. Oh, and longest lead under 14.5. The longest lead under 14.5 at minus 150. So they believe there's a greater than 60% chance that no team will have a lead greater than 14.5. Like I said, I only have 10 props in that back end. I'm trying to get you probably at least 10 more between now and kickoff, because year in, year out, that's where we made our money in the props. Last year, we did come off a losing year in the props. I think it was the one losing year in the last 5 or 6. It's on my Twitter. If you go and look, you'll see I put some of the best Super Bowls that we had. That all came from the props. Hopefully this is one of those as well, where we crush it on the props. And I hope you guys do some freaking damage. And like I said, subscribers, you will be getting that. Some of the prop bets that I would stay away from, honestly, great question, PB, are the long plus money, like the wasting money that less than the final points scored for one team is 2. Like they're giving 10,000 plus 10,000 and stuff like that. Those foolish bets that the final score is 5-2. Like there's those kind of crazy bets. It's a waste of money. Like it's a waste of money. I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but it's never happened. And the chances of a football game, Super Bowl ending with one team only scoring 2 points, I think is as close to 0 as you're going to get. Like, I don't think you can get closer to 0 than that. Like a team getting more or less shut out in the Super Bowl, or worse, only scoring a safety. They're able to get a safety, but nothing else. Those are the nonsense bets. The thing that I tell you not to look for. Or whether it's going to be an odd number, even number that the score ends with. Those are foolish bets. Because you're paying juice on a coin flip is what you're doing. Don't do that. Don't bet the coin flip. Even bet online, it's as fair as it is. They're laying minus 101. It's still a bad bet. Like, unless you really see that there's a bias on heads or tails, like you're laying minus 101 on a coin flip, and they're the fairest. I know books that are laying 115. Like, if you're laying 115 on a coin flip, you're begging to lose money. You already know, like, someone off the street knows that it's 50-50. That doesn't even gamble. They're going to tell you the odds of a coin flip are 50-50. So why in the hell would I ever lay 110, even 105, even 102 on it? Why would I do that? Like, it's not even giving me even money, let alone, I know it's negative EV. Like, you know for certain you placed the negative EV bet. Now you're hoping to be the product of good luck. Stay away from those kind of bets. Those are the worst kind of bets where you know are negative EV, but you're just hoping to get lucky. Again, if you're only betting for fun and entertainment, then bet those. Have something to cheer in. But if you're really risking your hard-earned money and looking to profit, you know what not to do. Don't do those. Don't do those. Anytime touchdown props. Yeah, Jalen Hurt. I gave that out to subscribers as a 2% play at minus 110. I gave Jalen Hurt anytime touchdown at minus 110. Nothing on first touchdown scored. Let me see. I have will both teams score in the first quarter. No, minus 140. No, minus 140. Does that lend towards the under? Maybe. Right? And the longest rush with Saquon, you guys know that. Longest rush for Saquon, under 25.5. I think that went all the way down to 23.5. Yesterday it was. Hopefully, if it goes back up and you like it, again, I know most recreational bettors right now are betting over on the props. Over Barkley, rush yards over Barkley, rushes over Barkley, longest rush, Barkley to be the MVP. I know that's a very, very, very popular bet. Let me give you another premium play that we bet. 3%. Almost all my props are 2%. I have three 3%. Three 3%. I'll give you one of them right now. This is actually one of my strongest. I gave it to my girl because she's like, just give me your strongest prop. This was as of yesterday. This morning, again, I'm still going to dig even deeper. As of yesterday, my strongest prop, and I gave it out on UFC on the line. Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goals, minus 130. I think you're good to minus 150. I think greater than 6 out of 10 times he's going to kick more than 1.5 field goals. That's a 3% play. That's a 3% play for subscribers. A bet that I made that I wasn't able to give the subscribers was Patrick Mahomes, longest rush over. I got down at 12.5. They went over 11.5, over 12.5. I wasn't able to get them the 11.5, which would have been a bigger bet, but I did get the 12.5 for myself. As I went to send it out, I saw 13.5s, and I said, I'm not doing it. This was like one of the first props that I bet. Out of the first 5 that I bet, that was one of them. I wasn't going to send it out at a number my guys couldn't get because I don't want them placing bad bets. I knew we'd have more than enough props that are good bets that I don't want them taking bad numbers. So I withheld that one, but I did, just in case it goes back up. We did go over 11.5, over 12.5 in Patrick Mahomes. And then another long shot prop that I put out there was Xavier Worthy to end this Super Bowl with the most receiving yards. And we bet that at plus 450 and plus 400. that Xavier Worthy. I saw a couple Xavier Worthy over props as well. The one thing I didn't like is his longest reception under 21.5. So I'm not sure how we could get those, how he's going to have the most receiving yards if his longest isn't greater than 21.5. Again, my mind isn't as smart as these guys, I'm sure of. So, and they're seeing it. They're not looking for how the game's going to play out as much as this is negative EV, this is positive EV, based mostly on a season-long data coupled with the X's and O's of these matchups. His defense versus his offense, his offense versus his defense, this player versus those players, this package versus that package, and the bigger sample size of year-to-date data. You know, they have a big enough sample size now, even though it's a sport that doesn't have a big sample size. They only played, 18 or so games. If you're in the playoffs, a little more, a little less. But compared to baseball, it's nothing. The data is nothing. But they do have a lot of data on independent players because they have played more or less every game, a lot of them they have a bunch of data on how many rushes they should have, yardage, receptions, all that. I don't want to waste any more of your time. I'm going to go one more time to look through any last question. Going to look one more time to see if any last bet came through the sharp accounts. Nada. All right. National anthem singer to wear blue. I have no idea. I know it's Baptiste, but I'm not even sure. Rams versus Cincinnati, one of your sharpest things ever. Yeah, I think that was one of our best years, right? That was one of our best. So what would you bet? Over 12.5 minus 135. Is that the Mahomes? I laid 130 to go over 12.5. I would go, if you liked it, Simon, if you also agreed with it, 5 cents higher isn't the worst bet. You know what I mean? I guess I laid minus 130, thinking it probably should be at least 150, if not a slightly higher. But you got to lean that way. If you don't lean that way, then I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't bet it just because, we bet it. There's more than enough props, and you guys watch more than enough football, more than I have. I'm sure of it. We got 100 plus people that have been jumping in and out, back and forth. I don't know how many it added up to altogether, but I promise you, the majority of you watch more football than I have this year. So have an opinion on these props. Don't just blindly follow them. Even the ones I sent to subscribers, that's what I urge you to do always. Let's say I sent out Tatiana Suarez, but you love Weili Zhang yesterday. Dude, don't bet her. Don't bet Suarez. You put yourself in a no-win situation. If anything, take your own opinion or pass. You never want to change your mind and bet what I like if you were on the opposite. It happens to me where I like a team in college basketball yesterday. Three different sides I had circled. They came in on the other side. I didn't give the other side out. I didn't give my side out either, but I just passed on it. No harm, no foul. There's always going to be a better bet to make. Again, no one ever lost more money by passing, just like no one ever lost more money by taking the best number. You're not going to lose more by doing those things. And that's the goal. Rule number one, like I have with my stocks, the name of it, like all the ones that I'm tracking probably between 50 and 75 different companies that I jump in and out on day trade. I remind myself every day by calling the list, don't lose money. That's rule number one, don't lose money. It's hard to make it, so don't lose it by doing stupid shit. So I want to thank you guys again for your time. I wish you the absolute best today, this week, this month, this year. I hope you got something out of this. It wasn't a waste of my time. You guys had me looking at more things. And again, God bless you and yours. This game's going to be over by the end of the night. And tomorrow, no one's going to care. Everyone's going to be talking about March Madness and college basketball. So please, whatever you do, don't make this game bigger than it is. Don't make it more significant than it should be. Don't let this game determine any kind of outcome for you that surely matters, because it should just be one day, one game. That's it. Again, tomorrow we will be talking about everything but the Super Bowl as far as bets go. I mean, everybody's going to review for a few days about the Super Bowl, but I promise you by the end of the week, nobody's going to give a shit whether the Eagles won or Kansas City won, what props went over, which went under, which cash, which didn't, unless you bet so much that it stung you. And if you bet so much but won and did the wrong thing, that's just as bad. Because again, it's happy for a week like I was when I was Gianni Fat Pockets, but 3 weeks later, I'm trying to figure out how not to get evicted. And you don't need that shit in your life. Trust me. Avoid it, avoid it, avoid it. Blackjack course will be starting 2 weeks from now. I want a week off to really dig into everything I need to prepare for, and then we will take it from there. I love you, Ernesto. I love you too, sir. I wish you the best, brother. You, your family, and again, I really, really, really am grateful for those of you that continue to support me and make this possible for me each and every week. Seriously, I absolutely love you guys for that. And just try to keep it real, man. Tell you when I win, tell you when I lose. And hope whether you're following me, betting any of the stuff I'm betting, that I help you become a more efficient, better for what you're doing. That's my goal. That truly is. Nathan, I will see you face to face in March, my friend. March Madness is on the way. Thank you, Nip Teaser. Thank you, all you guys. Not enough time to call out all the names, but thank you. Enjoy your Super Bowl. Enjoy the freaking Super Bowl. I don't want to say because it's going to piss some people off, especially since I'm from Philly. And this isn't to throw anyone off. I swear to you. It's just I had 2 hats up there. And this is from yesterday, too, if you can tell, from last call. So it's not that to throw anyone off, but go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. Just had to throw that out there. Love you guys. God bless.